They say grief makes you irrational. But that night when I lowered my son's coffin into the cold earth with no one beside me, I wasn't irrational. I was awake. Rain soaked through my coat. The priest mumbled words I didn't hear. My fingers clenched around the folded note my mother had sent me the night before. Stop being dramatic. This is urgent. No, I'm sorry. No, we'll come. Just urgency over my son's trust fund. That was the moment I understood what kind of family I had. 2 years earlier, when my wife left, my mother had called it inevitable. She said a woman like Clara couldn't handle real tragedy. She meant the diagnosis, the one that promised Myson wouldn't see 12. Back then, they still pretended to care. My parents threw dinners toasted to hope. My brother Mark even moved into the city to help. He smiled too easily, hugged too long, and called me stronger than most. I should have seen it. The betrayal didn't begin with the trust fund. It began with how comfortable they became in my suffering, as if my pain fed their peace. After the funeral, I sat alone in the kitchen, my son's drawings still taped to the fridge. I opened Mom's message again. This is urgent. Then another seconds later, your father says, call your lawyer. It's about the paperwork. Paperwork? Not the body, not the burial, the fund. I called the lawyer the next morning. He told me something odd had happened. My son's trust, $500,000, had been transferred weeks before his death to Mark. I didn't speak, didn't breathe, just listened to the static hum of the line. Your brother said it was for medical expenses, the lawyer said, voice careful, guilty. But the withdrawals, they don't look medical. Grief teaches you silence, but betrayal teaches you calculation. I didn't confront them. I didn't scream or accuse. I just watched. For 2 months, I rebuilt what they thought I'd buried. My mind. I tracked every dollar, every forged signature, every date. I dug up proof they never thought I'd find. The money wasn't used for doctors or care. It built a new house. Their house, the one my mother bragged about online, captioned, finally, our peace after years of hardship. Hardship? They meant mine. When I called the family meeting, they came dressed for comfort. Mark wore a new watch. Mom's diamond earrings caught the light like they were mocking me. You're looking better, she said, voice dripping with practiced concern. I've had time to think, I replied. They smiled, relieved. They thought I'd forgiven them. I let them. Over coffee, I told them I was liquidating the remainder of my assets to move on, I said. Mom nodded eagerly. It's for the best. I slid 3 envelopes across the table, one for each of you. My last gift. Mark opened his first. His smile faltered. The paper inside wasn't a check. It was a copy of the bank statement. His signature. The transfers, my mother's voice cracked. What is this? I looked at her steady. Proof. Of what? Mark asked, trying to laugh. Of who you really are? It took everything in me to stay calm as they unraveled. Mom's mask fell first, rage beneath pity. You don't understand, she said, voice trembling. It was your father's idea. I cut her off. You thought I'd die with him. Mark slammed his hand on the table. You can't prove anything, I smiled. Actually, I can. I already did. I turned my phone around. A video already recording. On screen, my lawyer's in his office. Time-stamped and live. Behind him, 2 officers. I didn't call you here to fight, I said. I called you to witness your own confession. The silence that followed was pure, like air after a storm. They tried to bargain, of course, plead. Mom clutched my arm. We're still family, she whispered. I looked at her hand, soft, jeweled, unscarred by any shovel or grave. My family, I said, was buried 3 months ago. Then I walked out. For the first time, I didn't look back. Weeks later, I stood at my son's grave again. The grass had started to grow back, green and stubborn. The police report said Mark would likely face years for fraud. Mom and Dad for conspiracy. The house was seized. Justice didn't bring joy. It brought stillness enough to hear the wind whisper through the trees, the same sound my son used to love. I knelt beside the headstone, tracing his name with my thumb. They finally know what loss feels like, I said softly. A part of me wished he could have seen it. Not the revenge, the peace, the quiet that comes when the noise finally stops. I buried my son alone, but when I buried them, I wasn't alone anymore. He found out who took his place, and I made sure they never forgot it.